Hi, I'm Matt.
Hey there, I'm Bianca.
And in this part one of a two-part series, I'm going to be teaching Bianca how to flirt with men.
Oh, great. This is going to be very interesting, so you should probably keep watching.
All right, so Bianca, do you find that you are good at flirting?
I am the best at flirting.
Would other people agree with that statement?
100% no.
Why do you suppose that is?
I don't think I've ever been like a flirtatious person. I've always been quite shy. And one-on-one, once I get like a conversation going with someone, I'm usually less shy. I am less shy. But starting a conversation with someone is always awkward for me. Or any kind of, I don't know, like we got together when we were 19.
Okay.
I didn't flirt a whole lot. I didn't experience dating. I didn't experience any of that kind of stuff because we were together and, very, very quickly in a very committed relationship. So I never practiced flirting. I never had a reason to. And then when we got into the lifestyle, I think I'd spent so much time being monogamous that it just didn't occur to me. Like I didn't learn how. I don't know how. And I'm always just so awkward and nervous that I don't know how.
What are you nervous about?
I don't know, saying or doing something that makes someone uncomfortable, whether it's the other person or their partner, being in the lifestyle. Because I truly feel like in the lifestyle, you're not just dating or meeting, talking to, whatever, fucking one person. It's two people.
Yeah. Because
while you're not actively for me, their wife, I'm not actively with her. I am in that if I do something wrong, that could, potentially upset her. And I don't want to do that.
So you'd rather not flirt than upset the wife?
Yes. Or make the husband uncomfortable if he's not wanting me to flirt with him.
If the people are at a lifestyle club, the assumption is they want to be flirted with.
I know.
Would you agree with that statement?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm just trying to come up with some reason. Okay. So you're concerned that the guy might not want to be flirted with.
I don't know. I think too, sometimes I get nervous about you walk into a club and I don't know if I want to flirt with you or not. I am not the person who goes off of looks alone.
Sure.
I have to have a conversation with someone.
All right.
To know whether I want it to move forward. And I think sometimes I get nervous about if I have a conversation with someone and then I'm like, yeah, I'm not interested in this person. If they're interested or they think I'm flirting with them or whatever, then I have to like turn them down, and I don't want to do that. So then I think I get into this thing of I'm just not going to talk to anybody.
So
I know that's not the right answer either.
So your assumption is that they're going to turn you down?
No, I'm going to want to turn them down.
So your assumption is that you're going to want to turn them down.
So then I shouldn't talk to anybody.
So you shouldn't. And
this makes no sense. I'm aware of this.
Okay. All right. So what could be done so that you wouldn't feel that way?
Oh, I don't know. So that I don't know. I don't know.
So you see a guy.
I know that for me, when a man flirts openly with me, and not just comes up to me and says, "Hey, I'm interested in you. I want to have sex with you."
Yeah.
But because while I do appreciate that openness and that like candor, because I am clueless, I need a little bit more. I need a good conversation. I do need a little bit of the touch to let me know that it's not just a conversation. Maybe a hand on the back or, that kind of stuff.
Okay, but I got to tell you, this isn't about them hitting on you. This is about you flirting with them. Okay.
I do know when I am flirting with somebody, when I'm in a conversation with somebody and I'm feeling more comfortable, I do get a little bit more handsy.
Okay.
And I definitely pay attention to their body cues, their cues, that if I am putting my hand here while we're talking, is that like, are they shifting? Are they getting uncomfortable?
Have you ever had a guy shift or get uncomfortable when you did that?
I don't know.
No. So the answer is no. So the answer is no. All right. You assume it might happen.
Maybe it's not that I'm not bad at flirting. It's just I don't find enough people that I want to flirt with.
Okay.
Like, I'm only going to flirt with you if I want things to move forward. I'm not going to flirt with you just to flirt with you. Right? So if I find someone that I have, we've had a conversation and I'm feeling comfortable with them and I'm feeling interested in flirting with them, then I am going to smile a lot. I'm going to try to keep the conversation. I am going to, do little touches here and there.
But as far as I'm aware, you've always waited for the guy to start all of that stuff.
Not always.
So you would say there has been a time where you've actually put your hand on a guy's leg before he did anything like that?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I shocked the shit out of you once.
Once?
Because I said something. I flirted with him.
Yeah.
A lot.
Okay.
I'm just going to say the story. So I saw him at a speed dating thing and was like all smiles and giggles. And then I was teaching classes at this event, and one of them was a lap dance class, and I invited him to switch seats with you.
Yeah.
So that I could dance on him.
Sure.
That was flirting. Did you hear the question in my But for me, that was me flirting, is saying, if you want, let's do this. And then I do remember during that short amount of time that we were talking, I do remember a little bit of this, like hand on the leg and that kind of stuff. And also leaning in close.
Okay. That you were doing to him or he was doing to you?
That I was doing to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Do you find that you are able, when you want to turn me on?
Yes.
Why?
Because I know your buttons.
You know my buttons. Okay.
We've known each other for so long. I know them now.
You think that's it?
Uh-huh.
So you don't think my buttons are pretty darn close to most guys' buttons?
I don't know.
What do you think? Yeah, I think every wife watching this right now is like, yeah, the buttons are pretty darn close.
How do I flirt with you?
You don't know?
No.
If you wanted to have sex with me, all right, and you were the one initiating, you're like, we need to do this. How would you go about doing that?
I mean, sometimes I'm like, do you want to just go do the thing?
Well, sure, yeah. And even, you know what? That's a great example. And what do I say?
You've never said no.
I've never said no to that. All right? That's a terrible flirting right there, but it worked. It was right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's so funny because, yeah, even in that exact situation, if you literally did that.
I know, but I'm never going to do that.
Why?
Because I feel like within the lifestyle, there's like a negotiation of sorts.
Well, sometimes it can be transactional.
I have done that once to someone, though, before. We had played with him, or I'd played with him several times, and we were in a hot tub, and I was like, I really want to fuck you now. And he was like, let's go.
Yeah, but you had played already. I'm talking about the... I
played with you already.
Yes, I understand that. But... Okay, and let's think of that gentleman. All right. Okay, so if you use the exact same buttons on him that you use on me, which you did, you said, hey, I want to go fuck you, and it worked, would you guess that would also work on a vast majority of men?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
But I'm not going to say it to just anybody.
Why?
Because I don't know that I want to go off with just anyone.
No. You're at the point where you're like, this guy's hot. He's great. We're talking.
Has he given me any kind
He has not put his hand on your leg, but you're flirting and you're interested. You're very interested.
If I'm not getting any indication from him that he could be interested in me, I'm not going to just.
Can you start the indication? By you putting the hand on the leg.
If we're in a conversation and I'm feeling like, oh, I really like him and I'm doing this kind of stuff, depending on his body language. Okay. If he is leaning in and giving me a yes, I like this. Yeah. I'm still probably not going to do it. Let's just be honest here. I'm too shy to make the first move. If I've never been with someone before, I am too shy.
Why?
Because that is who I am. Period. That's who I am. That's who I've always been.
And there's nothing wrong with being the one on the receiving end of just waiting for the guys to ask you. That's fine. But you have also complained many times over the years about not playing, and including people that you've had massive crushes on because they were just as afraid to ask you as you are to ask them. You can shrug all you want, but
I'm not. That was not me shrugging. That was me agreeing with you, but being like, I don't know that I want to change who I am, and I'm also, I'm okay with the way things are for me. I am the type of person that I have to feel really comfortable and get to know the person before I am comfortable playing with them.
And that's fine. That's fine. I'm not saying you get rid of any of that stuff. I'm not saying get rid of any of that stuff at all. I'm saying you've done those things. You've flirted. You're definitely on each other. You have not played with each other before, but you know, but he is not asking for probably the exact reasons that you're not asking. He is just assuming that you're going to say no, or he's too shy or too nervous to say anything whatsoever.
I think it would depend on the person, and it would depend on the situation, and it would depend on my mood for that day. I don't think that I am incapable of moving things forward myself and asking for the sale. I'm perfectly capable of doing that. If I am in a place where I'm feeling really good and very sexy and really cute, and things are moving well with them, and I'm like, you know, and it's not going forward, I am perfectly capable, and I could possibly see myself moving things forward by saying, you know, hey, do you want to take this somewhere more private or something like that? But it's going to be super rare.
Oh yeah.
That's who I am.
Yeah. Have you ever done that?
With someone I'd never been with before? Yeah. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I honestly, truly don't know. Okay. Right. I don't think that's a solid no, but I don't know that it's a yes. I just don't know. Right. I 100% do believe that is, that I would if it was all the stars were exactly aligned the way they should be. I'm never going to be that person who just walks up to someone, hey, I just met you. You're kind of cute. Let's go fuck.
Sure.
Like, I'm just not that person.
Okay.
That's not me.
I'm not that way
and
either.
I'm not going to change, and I'm not going to apologize for that. But yeah, I do think in the right situation that I probably would move things forward myself.
Okay. And how would you do that?
Like I said, I would just, you know, if we were flirting and talking and whatever, I might just say, you know, hey, do you want to move this somewhere more private?
Okay. Okay. And having the same mindset of this is what would turn Matt on would also be the thing that would turn this gentleman on. Sure. I guess. I don't know what you're saying. I want to take this guy to the back. Sure. All right. I know that this thing that I'm doing would work on Matt. Matt is pretty stereotypical guy. That's what I should do. Well, that's what we're talking about. That's what I do. Like, I'm talking to them, I'm touching them, I'm leaning in. Those are my flirting moves. Okay. I don't know of any other ones that I do with you that, like what you're talking about. I mean, those are my moves. The moves that work on you are my moves. I don't know other ones. Well, you had mentioned just literally just saying, hey, let's go do this. It's easier to you because like we have such a different relationship that anybody else I have in the lifestyle. Sure. And that will always be. Yeah. I will never have the same relationship with someone else. Okay. The closeness, the like, you know, we can finish each other's thoughts, you know, all that kind of stuff. I won't have that with anybody else because of what we do have. And so for me to, I feel, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but I do feel that because of who we are, because we live together, because we're married, because of all this, we can be lazy and not flirt and just be like, I'm feeling like I need a scratch, I need it, or an itch, I need scratch. You want, you're gonna, you know, or should I just go on my own? All right, so that I think a lot of that flirtiness goes away when you have a relationship the way that we do. Okay, there have been some people in I can think of off the top of my head that I have played with where the woman and I have flirted with each other in public places or whatever, and then we just didn't get together then, and then, you know, they messaged me, for example, or well, we had one lady who messaged you and was or talked to you and was like, you think Matt would be interested? And then she messaged me, and of course I'm going to say yes to that. I would tend to think, and because the flirting was already there, could you do that? You know, that's actually a good idea and a good thought. For me, what you said of messaging the wife. Yeah. I do find that a lot of wives tend to be wing women for their husbands. Yeah, with absolutely. Me, that they will tell me, I gave him a great pep talk on the way, and, you know, I'm trying to help him out and all that kind of stuff. So women are typically very good wing
women for their partners. So I do think that if I could remember that and I was really interested in someone and wasn't moving forward, that would be a really comfortable step for me, is to ask her, you know, hey, do you know if he is interested in me? And if so, are you okay with me pursuing that?
Okay, but that wasn't remotely my question. My question was the next part. Would you message him and say, "Hey, it was great flirting with you. Let's you want to get together."
If I had messaged her first and kind of got a feel for it, then I think
that'd be the only way that you would do that would be if you got permission.
Oh yeah, no, I would never reach out to a guy on his own. No.
Well, not
without talking to the wife first. No.
I'm assuming it was fine to do that. So it's one thing if you're reaching out of the
No, blue. I don't think I would. I think even if the guy and I, because I chat with some of my guy friends or whatever.
Okay.
Do I though? Do I chat with anybody that I haven't played with?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Yeah. So that I guess I just don't get to that place with someone where we chat separately until we've already played.
Okay.
So I don't know that I would be, if I was just talking with a guy like verbally, if I've never been in that position where we have exchanged messaging services or whatever, and talked to them on the side. So I don't think that I would do that, especially without talking to the wife, because you never know their rules. Some people don't like to have side conversations. Some people only want a conversation between the sexes, you know, the two women or the two men.
So you're saying then, in a situation where you and him were flirting, you definitely, you got some sort of connection. It didn't work out because he was too shy to ask you to play in the back or whatever it might be. Next day, you're like, I want to pursue this. You go to the wife and you'd be like, do you think such and such is interested in me? She says yes. You would say, can I message him? She says yes. And then what would you do? When you message him, what would you do?
I think I would just continue the flirtation and then.
So you still wouldn't ask him?
Right then and there, we're like not even together or anything.
Right.
You're asking me how I would start this. I'm trying to tell you. I would start off conversation, flirting.
So, of course.
See where
I'm
it
not
goes.
saying the first sentence.
No, I'm not going to do that the first sentence. That is kind of what you were implying.
I'm sorry. You're right. Hey, this is Bianca, by the way. Do you remember me? That would probably be the first thing.
I would probably get there.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not in the situation.
Well,
I don't know.
I understand.
I am comfortable in this spot right here telling you, yes, I would do that. If I got a firm yes from the wife, not a, I don't know, maybe you should ask him.
So you're kind of like in junior high school when you're like, so Bianca has a crush on you, you know, like
sending the notes,
asking the friends.
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I mean, don't get me wrong, that's great. I love it when that happens to me too. Like when like a wife or a husband's like my wife is interested in you. I'm like, I love that. Yeah, that's an easy button. Who doesn't want that? Because then you don't have to be like, are they going to say no? You already know they're going to say yes. All it takes is you get in the point of actually asking them to do the deed, and they're going to be, let's go, let's do this. But
if I'm not getting any kind of, if the guy is so terrified of me that he's not giving me anything, I'm not going to be attracted to him. Even if I like walk in and the conversation starts and I'm feeling like I might be attracted to him, if he's so overly shy and can't hold a conversation with me, my attraction is going to dwindle.
Oh, I would agree.
Because I also feel like, how is the sex going to be? If you can't talk to me clothed, how are you going to fuck me?
I don't disagree with that at all. Yeah, I mean, and there's definitely people that you connect with instantly, and you're like, just talk. Other people, you're like, after a minute in, you're like, I got nothing else to say right now. And yeah, those connect. They might be hot, but you just don't get that connection.
Yeah.
And I totally get that. Interesting. Okay, so see, it's good to have these conversations with your spouse, because if you can kind of pull that information out of like, what is the barrier? Like, try to figure out what the barrier is in whatever it might be, whatever the issue might be, and including if it is something as far as moving forward or running into a barrier in the lifestyle that Bianca has, and it's been not problematic, that's the wrong word. That's too much of a word. It's just been an issue with you time and time again over the years, where you're just like, man, we flirted and nothing happened. We flirted and nothing happened. And 9 times out of 10, it's the guy's just afraid to do that. And he's just as afraid of you as you are of him. He's like that neighbor's dog or whatever, do you pet it? Anyway, and I have, of course, found that as well. You know, it's great when a woman says to me or texts me or whatever, in one of these, you know, things like we're saying, of just being like, hey, I talked to Bianca and I'm totally interested. Do you want to do this? And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. That is an easy way to do it in that situation, for when you're not necessarily playing tonight, like that you connected with somebody and you're like, wow, he was hot. I really like talking to him. Maybe that's the direction that you need to go.
Mm-hmm.
And then set something up. Hey, we're going to be at the club next Saturday. You want to get together, type of thing. And then when you get to the club next Saturday, then you flirt, and you already have the green light to put the hand on the leg, to kiss, to do all the things to kind of get. And so does the guy in that situation. They basically, you've both come to this agreement of, I'm attracted to you, you are attracted to me. Let's see if we can do all the things that will get Bianca hot and bothered, because she's perfectly okay with you doing that, specifically because she likes you enough to do that. Okay, all right. Well, you got your homework laid out for you then.
No, I need to find someone first.
Okay, all right. Okay, some guy who will flirt with her. Perfect. All right. So, do you agree with like my setup for Bianca? Like, is this something that I'm totally off base, or you're giving this look of? Oh, he's
I'm not. I'm just listening to you. Jeez.
Okay.
I feel like there's a homework assignment coming.
There's a homework assignment, absolutely. Do you think she should have a homework assignment?
No.
All right. Well, in our second part, we're going to flip things around. She's going to tell me how to do a better job being in the lifestyle, how to flirt with women, how to pick up women, how to hit on women from a woman's perspective. Because I do this from a guy's perspective. I know what guys want. Guys want you to touch their button. That's basically the thing, as much as possible. Maybe rub it up and down. Yeah. No, all right.
It's more of a lever than a button.
It is a lever. Yeah. All right. Well, is there anything else you want to say?
Nope. I think I'm good.
All right. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.